Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Vincent Briatore here again. Today's been kind of one of those days for me. Past few days are just trying to kind of just stay concentrated, watching the market. Point is that I'm making this video even though I don't have a whole lot to say. That's the point. I'm squeezing out a nice nugget for you guys.
That means two things.
But anyway, an interesting article that I read about mining. Apparently this guy posted some information about him doing a coal to gas conversion at a power plant, and underneath the power plant they were using excess power for a ton of Bitcoin miners. Then I searched about this, and apparently this is a common practice here in the United States. A lot of power plants, you're talking from the dam to the wind, but mainly these coal and gas, power plants are using the excess heat, or excess, not heat, but electricity to run these Bitcoin miners. So when you're talking about adoption and widespread of Bitcoin, popularity or whatever, it's pretty damn popular, and it's a viable source of income if these people are getting in on it. I know a lot of people. Mining used to be huge. I used to have a couple miners, Ethereum, Bitcoin miners that I used to toy with, and I was always looking at the video cards and seeing the new video cards, or looking at the Bitcoin machines like the S9 or whatever is going on. It just got to the point where it just wasn't terribly profitable for an individual to do, mainly because of the power cost and the constant upgrades. And if it was just one or the other, you could manage, but juggling both just kind of didn't make it worth it. And the power company apparently gets power for around, because they still have to pay for power. And they actually, if they don't use the excess power, they have to pay back that money, or they have to pay to get rid of this power, or something like that. But anyway, what I'm saying is that they get it for around, it's estimated around 2 cents per kilowatt is the cost that they pay for the gas and coal and these kind of things. So to give you an idea, the average residential cost in the United States is around 0.13, so 13 cents per kilowatt, which compared to Europe, I mean, you're talking it's pretty cheap. There's some people that have shared data from Europe. We're talking about 30 cents per kilowatt, more than that. What about your area? What is your area? So I would love to hear in the comments how much you're paying. Apparently there's some areas in Washington, because they have the dams and stuff up there. It's very cheap energy. Also in Texas, some places, 7 cents per kilowatt. New York City, big cities, northeastern Pennsylvania, California, Los Angeles, prices are going up. So it really just depends. But a lot of them are doing this stuff in Iceland and stuff. But I don't know necessarily if it's because of low cost of energy, but because these miners create a lot of heat. Looking back, even in my heyday of mining, it still would have been a better to just put that money, that couple $1,000, just put it in ETH or BTC long haul. The big thing is the ups and downs. So ups and downs your miners run, so you can have some upside there, but it has to be kind of a large operation, and you have to have an angle. And nowadays, there's all kind of people moving to Washington, wherever the electricity is cheap, is doing it, so it's kind of saturated market. The market today is pretty much all down. So it's one of these days when the market's down, I'm down. It's just the way it is. But we have a big winner amongst others, Swipe, up 20% today. So check out. Also Komodo up about 15% or so. But the Swipe SXP, never heard of it. Market cap around $111 million. You know who bought Swipe yesterday right before it went up 20%? Not this guy. But, it's that FOMO. You always feel like you miss out. And no matter how much I always say when something goes up like 10, 20%, wait a little bit. Wait till a pullback to get in. I swear, every time I wait for a pullback and I finally get in and I'm very confident that I got the trade on lock, it is always followed by a day after day in the red. Maybe I'm not reading the Fibonacci right. I heard recently Craig Wright and Elon Musk are going to do a project together. That's fake news. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I was very sad to see that.
I'm going to leave you guys actually with a track by the Stephen Gawking. Is the brainchild of this I.J. Swanepoel. Sweeney pole, swan pole sounds pretty nice. Anyway, I don't know. You speak to people online, so you don't really know to look up. But I thought it was an interesting song. This guy, he suffers from spinal muscular atrophy, or this a degenerative disease, kind of like the Stephen Hawking itself. Very talented guy. So I'm gonna start featuring some of his songs in the outros, and you can learn more information about it by looking it up and looking in the description. I try to encourage people, to pursue their dreams, and if I can support somebody in any way, I try to do it. And disabilities and ailments and diseases and stuff like that put you at a disadvantage. Man, it's just terrible. It's unfair, and life is unfair. But it should inspire people, and it should let people know how much they have going for them. It is so easy to become complacent and just complain about your life and look at all of the things that you don't have and see that glass always half empty. It's always half empty. There's always more that can be gotten. There's always somebody that has more than you. But sometimes you just gotta understand that if you're living and breathing, whether you're good looking or you're ugly, you're tall or you're short, whether you're a cashier, you're the GM, you're lucky because you can walk and talk because you got your health. And there's plenty of people that are battling cancer and diseases and all kind of other shit. So, it is what it is. Try to stay inspired. Anyway, here we go. As always, buy red, sell green.
You can keep me down.
Introducing myself, I'm Stephen Gorkin, live out to my calling. And I'm moving in stealth, I'm not for the bullies and that's just a warning. Can be saved by